Hi, hello. How's it going? It's Emily, and today we're going to start our vlogs for the best month of the year, October, and I'm excited. Again, this is my favorite month with the leaves changing, the weather being so nice. It's starting to be sweater weather. I love pumpkin spice everything. So I'm excited, and I would like to do a spinner wheel. I did the TBR jar in September, and I think it would be fun to do a spinner wheel for October. Now, I do have 9 books that are on the official list, plus 8 more that I would love to get to. So I put all 17 on here, and we're just gonna see how it goes. I might need to eventually weight some of these differently so that I'm more likely to get the ones on my TBR. I just filmed my TBR video, so those books are over here and the other ones are down there. So we'll have to see if maybe I'll just abandon the spinner wheel and just start to get to the books that are on the official list so that I can get through them. And that way I can get through everything for the month of October like I did for September. I smashed it in September, and I would like to do the same in October. So we're gonna see what book I'm gonna start October with. I'm currently finishing Immortal Consequences at the end of September, but that'll take me right up until October starts. And so that'll be a perfect fresh start to pick my next book. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Hopefully it's one that's on the official list. Love it. Okay. House of Root and Ruins is in fact on the list. So we'll start there. And it was on the official list for a Kindle pick. I technically do have the Kindle version, but I also picked up a physical copy at a used bookstore. So I do also have a physical copy of it. And I believe I have the audiobook as well. I have 3 versions of this book. Go figure. So that will be the first book for the month of October. So I will let you know once I've started this one, once I finish Immortal Consequences and started that one and have some thoughts. So I have started House of Roots and Ruin. I'm about 100 pages in and having a good time with this one so far. So we are following Verity, who is the sister of the character from House of Salt and Sorrow. So this is after the events of that book. And the beginning does spoil what happens, so be sure to read House of Salt and Sorrow before reading this one, because it definitely distinctly takes place afterwards. So Verity was very young at the time of the first book, and really only kind of has some memories of this. And she is living with one of the older sisters, Camille, and she's 17 at the time of the story, about to turn 18, and she really just wants to get out into the world, have some adventures, leave the estate for a little while, just go see what's out there, find herself, that kind of thing. Very relatable feeling. And her sister doesn't really want her to do this. Verity gets a letter from the Duchess of another kingdom or another area, and is offered the opportunity to do a portrait of their son. And so she really wants to go do this. She's an excellent painter. She really wants to go see this other land, meet some other people, just kind of go have an adventure. And her sister doesn't want her to do this, basically says no. And when she starts to talk more to her sister about it, finds out that the reason her sister doesn't want her to is because Verity can see ghosts. And she hadn't really realized this, because some of the ghosts that she's seen are, in the estate. So one of her attendants, basically, who, she thought she had been talking to for a long time, is dead, and I'm not gonna like go into detail because again I don't want to spoil things, but like there are dead ghosts in the estate, and I'll just leave it at that. And so she at first doesn't believe her sister, but then realizes that what her sister is saying is true, and that some of what she's seen have been ghosts, have been dead people, and her sister doesn't want her Verity to cause embarrassment for the family, so she doesn't want Verity to get caught in a situation where she starts talking to what she thinks is a real person who turns out to be a ghost, and it just looks like she's having a conversation with no one. And she doesn't, if she gets caught doing that, she's afraid that her sister could get put into an asylum, that, she could bring shame to the family, that could affect everyone in the family, not to mention Verity herself. And so she doesn't want Verity to get into this situation. So she wants her to stay close to the estate so that she can kind of watch over her and protect her and make sure that never happens. But Verity decides to run away anyway and go paint this portrait, and just, armed with the knowledge that at least she has the potential to see dead people, she vows to just kind of be super careful and make sure that anyone she's talking to is a real person. Anyway, and so that's kind of the setup for this one. So she's at this new place. She's met the, Duchess, Duke, the son, and is getting set and making preparations to do this portrait. So that's kind of where we're at. I'm enjoying the writing once again. I thought I would. It's definitely very atmospheric. Not many dark things have happened yet, but again, I'm only 100 pages in, so I fully expect some dark things will start to happen. Despite only being 100 pages in, I would like to spend for my next pick, because why not? So I'm actually going to shuffle where they're at just to mix it up. And let's see what I will be. Okay. Forest of Souls. Oh, see, we can. Forest of Souls 2 and 3. So I think I'll probably just quickly read them back to back, and hopefully I'll be able to brush up on what happens in the first one. I think I'll be able to. I think Fairy Loot did a read along, so I think I'll be able to do that. So we will continue and finish that series next. I originally thought this was a duology, but I think there's actually going to be a third book in this series. So this won't complete the series, but I will at least be caught up with it. But we'll at least be finishing a series next. So that's a goal that I have for this month. So always good. So I am done with House of Root and Ruins. It's the next day. So this one didn't take me long to read, actually, even though it's a little thick, but this one was a lot of fun, though. I gave you the basic premise. So our main character Verity is going to paint the son of this other Duke and Duchess, and so she goes to their estate. She's working on the painting. Weird things are starting to happen, but they're kind of explained away one at a time, and she's just starting to get a little bit more and more uneasy. And I feel like this one was had slightly fewer horror elements than the other one did. For some reason, that one felt just a little bit darker. I mean, this one's still kind of dark, at least for YA. Like, it's not going to get as dark as an adult one is, but I feel like the other one got a little bit darker. But this one I still had a lot of fun with. The romance does happen very quickly, but that's also kind of part of what's going on, and I don't know, but I do like their dynamic. They're pretty cute together, and of course, she's only there for a few weeks and she's starting to fall over that very brief course of time. It's going to feel fast anyway, but they are pretty cute. And she's just starting to feel more and more isolated. Weird things are happening. It does slowly kind of ramp up a little bit. And anyway, I had fun with it. I will definitely be reading the third one whenever that comes out. I think next year, maybe. Anyway, I'll be reading the third one. I had fun. And I will next be turning to The Forest of Souls. So I had previously held up Broken Web. This is the second book. I actually went to the library yesterday and picked up a copy of the third one as well, because I'd like to finish the series. But I was looking at the read-along, the Fairy Loot read-along, that typically does a pretty good job of doing a recap and making me remember what happened and feeling comfortable going into the second book without rereading the first one. But I wasn't feeling like I knew what happened in the first one after reading the read-along. And so I figured it might actually be best to just go ahead and reread the first one as well, even though I don't have time to add yet another book. But I don't know. I think I'm going to enjoy the second and third one more if I just go ahead and reread this one and just fully re-immerse myself and then just marathon the series just back to back to back. This is what the normal cover looks like, by the way. I have the Fairy Loot edition turned around. But I just, yeah, I'll get more out of it if I reread the first one. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and just hope that I can still get to everything. I'm going to have the same problem with The Keeper of Night because I couldn't really find a recap of that one. So whenever that one comes up, I'm probably going to need to reread The Keeper of Night before going into the second one. And I just, there's so many books I want to read this month. But I need to remember it's not a race. And if I don't finish all of these books and some of them go into November, like, it's fine. It's not a race. I just feel like it is sometimes and just want to get all of the books in. And so when I have to reread 2 books to continue a series, it's just, I mean, and I enjoyed these enough to continue on with this series, so it shouldn't be annoying. It should be, oh, cool, I enjoyed this book and I get to re-experience it. But just with so many books that I want to experience staring me down, like, I just want to jump straight into those. But yeah, I will do what will maximize my enjoyment for sure. I think that ultimately makes most sense because, again, this is not a race. It's not a race. So, but in this one, we're following our main character, Saoirse, and I'm just a bit over 50 pages in. So I've just started this one, and Saoirse is hoping to be named the apprentice to the Queen's shadow, like the Queen's spy, right-hand woman kind of figure. That's our main character's mentor, and she's hoping to be named this woman's apprentice, like officially named her apprentice. She's also in the Queen's army, and so, yeah. And so as she's going through some stuff with the army, she finds out that one of the people that she really doesn't like is also hoping to be an apprentice to this woman and is one of her pupils and is trying to become her apprentice as well, the Shadow's apprentice. And so the Shadow figure, Kendara is her name. So Kendara has given this other soldier that our main character Saoirse doesn't like, has given him a task and has given him a note with instructions. He's supposed to burn the note after reading it, but he doesn't, and she finds this note with the instructions of what to do. So she's going to try to intercept and basically do his mission for him so that she can hopefully do what she needs to do to be officially named the apprentice to Kendara. And while she is trying to go to this tea shop to intercept, who this other guy is supposed to be looking for and the information that he's supposed to be gathering, she intends to gather that information instead. And she's at this tea shop, things go wrong, and it's looking like maybe Kendara set them up to be ambushed by these shamans, but she's not understanding why shamans attacked this tea shop. And in this whole process, her friend is killed, but she somehow brings her friend back to life, and she doesn't really have a lot of memories of exactly what happened or realize kind of how she did it, but she somehow brought her friend back to life and is trying to figure out what to do. She wants to go back to Kendara for help to figure out what she should do, what happened, and see if she can really trust Kendara, figure out what happened, figure out what her next move should be, because she really doesn't have anyone else in her life that she trusts. It's basically Kendara and her one friend are like the only two people that she trusts. And so she wants to figure out what her next move should be after this attack and hope to be named apprentice and continue training under Kendara. But anyway, that's where we're at here, and we'll figure out what's going on. I last read this, and the reason I was wanting to look up a summary and don't have it fresh in my mind, I think I read this soon after it came out in 2000. I think I was at home in lockdown when I first read this, so it has been a good handful of years. So anyway, we'll just marathon this whole series and hope that I can get to everything else I want to read this month. It is Saturday morning, and I actually a couple of days ago on Thursday basically started and finished the first book in this series, Forest of Souls. So I did finish that one. It's upstairs and I don't want to go get it. So but I did show it in the last cup, I think. So, and I very briefly introduced what was going on. So we've got a few main threads going on in that one. So there was this attack at the tea house, and I think I slightly misspoke. So they're worried that someone tried to set Kendar, her mentor, up through this attack at the tea house. So they don't think that Kendara had something to do with that, but they feel like someone was targeting Kendara or one of her apprentices. And so, or potentially that's what happened. And so there's the mystery of why this tea house was attacked. There are increased tensions between these different realms or different kingdoms, based on how different kingdoms treat shaman-born or people with magic. And so this is just kind of increasing tensions even further. And so that's when they're invited to go to the location where the Spider King is, Ronan, who has kind of kept this tentative peace between these different kingdoms and has promised not to really interfere, and is trying to kind of help keep things stable. But the Deadwood is spreading, or kind of this area of the forest where these souls are trapped. That area is growing and is making things worse in terms of tensions between these groups. And so that's part of it. And then also her friend is getting sick. So the friend, she was with one of her friends, with her only friend. She was with her friend at this tea house and is, the one that she brought back to life. So she is traveling with her to see the Spider King. And her friend is getting sick, like magically, a magic kind of sickness, not just she's recovering from whatever happened and needs time to heal. Like she is getting sick from something to do with the magic or what's going on in this forest. And so we've got a few things coming together here that are kind of interrelated in terms of the politics of what's going on and the magic of what's going on. And so she goes to talk to the Spider King. She's trying to figure out more about her magic because she needs to be able to control her magic, and is trying to figure out what to do or help the Spider King figure out what to do to help control this forest magic spirit situation that's going wrong. Trying to figure out what to do for her friend, and he's trying to help her do that by bringing in healers, and in exchange she's trying to figure out what's going on with this forest, and she's trying to ask him questions about what happened at the tea shop. And one of the people escaped, one of the shaman-born escaped from that situation, so the Spider King, among others, is trying to track down the person who escaped to get more information. Anyway, so we have a lot going on, but it was a lot of fun. I had a good time with that one, and yeah, a lot culminating at the end there. So we now are in the second one, Broken Web, and of course I can't say too much about what's going on here, but she is trying to figure out this kind of dark force, dark entity that could be affecting the woods. She's trying to figure out how she can take on that force, that entity, and try to get more information about that. And her friend still is not fully healed, so she's trying to get more information on that. And the politics between these kingdoms is, especially with what happened towards the end of the book, and I won't say anything about what happened, but especially with that, things are even worse in terms of the tension and the politics. So she's still basically trying to figure out some things about each of these different threads that are going on, but they've definitely evolved a bit since the first, and new elements are being added or changing about each of these different threads that she's trying to figure out. Anyway, so I'm having a good time. This is definitely fun, spooky forest vibes, which is perfect for this time of year. So having a good time with this one, and we'll continue to read this one this morning. I thought I would be out and about this morning going to an appointment, but my car was mistakenly towed, so I need to get my car back. I was about to leave to go to this appointment when I was trying to figure all this out, and so I could take an Uber to where I need to go, but it's a little bit far, so the Uber would be expensive. And so I ultimately just called them and canceled and said that I would hope that I could make another appointment soon and that I would be able to get my car back. Fortunately, they were very understanding. They usually charge for cancellations, but they were very understanding. So hopefully I'll be able to get my car back today once Matt gets back a little bit later and can help me with that, and then maybe be able to go tomorrow and have that appointment just shift to tomorrow. Anyway, so I now have some more reading time is the point. So I can read this instead of going to that appointment because I don't really know what else to do. I need to put in some laundry as well. So I will put in some laundry, do a bit of just random odds and ends, and continue listening to this one as well while I do those things. And I'm hoping I can make some really good progress on this one today and maybe even finish it later today or early tomorrow, and then start on the third one, because I really would like to get through these pretty quickly and continue to get through my October TBR that is absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, so yeah, I will come back once I have either read more of or finished Broken Web and see if I'm still feeling positive thoughts. editing Emily here. I actually forgot to mention, and I'm so upset with myself that I didn't get clips of this, but while we were at that Oktoberfest thing, one of the vendors that we talked to was an online bookstore, an independent online bookstore. And this was the first pop-up event they were doing. So they had only been online up until that point with plans to do different events and fairs and stuff like that. And so this Oktoberfest was the first actual event that they were working. And they specialize in young adult books. It's called The Reading Chamber is what the website is called. I'll be sure to link it down below. So if you're looking for any young adult books, browse their website. You know, if they have it, then that's a great way to support a small business, an online bookstore. And this is what I got. I had to support them. So I wanted to go ahead and get something. I got The Weaver Bride. And this is by Lydia Gregovich. And it just sounded interesting. I hadn't actually heard of this one, but it sounded interesting, so I went ahead and got it. I also got a super cute bookmark that is upstairs, but they had cute bookish merch as well, so I got a really cute bookmark. And anyway, I just wanted to give them a little bit of a shout out and put their website down below. Again, I'm so sad I didn't get any clips of their tent because it was really cute. But if you're looking for a YA book, see if they have it and check out the store, because they also have links to some of that bookish merch as well. They also have a monthly subscription box, so you can get an independently published YA book monthly through this subscription box, plus some bookish goodies as well thrown in there. So if you're interested in any of that, check it out. And anyway, all right, back to what I was saying. So we're going to try this out. I got a few clips when we were out and about yesterday at Oktoberfest. Our local community was doing kind of an Oktoberfest celebration. There were a bunch of vendors out, food, music, beer, all that good stuff. So I did get a few clips using my new camera. And this one is a lot smaller, easier to bring around. So I'm hoping that if I can just fit it in my purse and be in the habit of bringing it around, then I might be able to just get more random clips of random things that I otherwise would not have tried to get. Anyway, it is once again Sunday. You know it, during halftime of the Cowboys game. So I wanted to give a quick update. I have almost finished Broken Web. I'm about to start the third book in this series. I'm having a really fun time with this one. I don't think it'll be a favorite series ever for me, but I am having a really fun time with it, of her just discovering more about her magic, trying to figure out how to help her friend, figure out the politics of what's going on. And I don't know, I'm just having a good time, enjoying the vibes. But I would like, even though I do have one book left, and I should save this for later, I would like to see what I'm going to read next. So let me make sure I have it up here. Okay. So we're going to get all the ads off. I'm just gonna shuffle it real quick and then figure out what is going to be next. All right, let's see. Ooh, The Knight and the Moth. Okay, that's really exciting. Perfect. Okay, so that'll be the next one. I'm gonna go and continue watching this game, but I'm excited for the new camera, and I'm still trying to figure some things out, so I hope the audio is fine. I do know it at least works. I did some test clips, but hopefully everything is fine. But yeah, I'm excited to bring this thing around with me and hopefully get some more clips of just random things. And yeah, but anyway, yeah, I will continue with this one, finish the final book in the series, and I'll check in when I'm, in the middle of the final one in the series. I'm hoping I might even be able to just finish it tomorrow, get it started today, get a good chunk in, and then finish tomorrow, is what I'm hoping. And then I can go to The Knight and the Moth. So I finished the third book, A Calling of Light. I finished A Calling of Light. I finished that yesterday, so it was the third book in the series that starts The Forest of Souls. So I have wrapped up that series. I also yesterday was able to get about 100 pages into The Knight and the Moth. Absolutely loving the vibes so far. But before we do that and talk about that, first I'm just gonna see if I can shuffle a bit and then go ahead and spin. And let's see what comes up. Ooh, Pumpkin Spice Cafe. Love it. Okay. I think a romance will be a super fun next pick. So we're going to go ahead and do that next. And then, anyway, so I finished A Calling of Light. Had a fun time with that series. It's definitely not going to be a favorite of all time. Don't really know or can explain easily why. It just I think isn't going to be a favorite series of all time. And I'll need to see and think about whether or not I feel like I'm going to reread it and whether I should keep the copies I have of the first two books. The third one I got from the library, but I need to see if I feel like I should keep the copy of the first two books I have and if I feel like I'm going to reread that series. I don't know. It was fun. Writing was fun. There was a lot going on. I enjoyed the characters. Definitely good spooky forest has souls trapped in it kind of vibes for this time of year, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll need to think about that one. But I have since started The Knight and the Moth, and I'm immediately loving the vibes of this one. So we're following Sybil, and Sybil is a diviner. She lives in a convent or convent-like place with 5 other diviners, and there's someone who kind of runs the place and oversees them. And there are also some sentient gargoyles that run around. And so at the beginning of the story, the new king, he's a very young king, is coming. So it's tradition for a new king to come to this place to get a reading from the diviners and see if the gods, if the omens are in his favor. So that's what he does. And the omens are not in his favor, but we get to see the process of what it's like for them to go through this process of divining and reading these omens, and it's pretty intense. So we see her go through that process, and there is a knight who has come into town in this process, you know, with the king, protecting the king. And so one of his knights immediately does not get along with Sybil and doesn't really, is it accurate to say he doesn't really believe in what she's doing? Anyway, they do not hit it off. But she does this reading for him. They actually take some of the water that the diviners use for divining, and when she catches them with it, she basically says, well, we won't say anything if you give us a night out on the town. Basically. And anyway, so after all of this, the other diviners start to go missing one by one in the middle of the night. And so she's trying to figure out what's going on. The person who runs the place just says that they left, but she's not buying it. And she comes across this knight again, and he essentially helps her escape the convent because she wants to figure out what's going on with these other diviners. And so he helps her escape, and one of the gargoyles wants to go along on the adventure with them. And this gargoyle is actually really funny and just randomly calls all of the diviners Bartholomew for no discernible reason. I don't know, it's just random stuff like that. Like, this gargoyle is pretty funny. And so I'm really glad that he's going to be going along for the ride. But yeah, I'm immediately liking the vibes, loving the world, the writing. I'm definitely in it very, very quickly. So very excited to see where this goes. And then we will be doing Pumpkin Spice Cafe next. So that should be a nice, cozy romance time. So love it. I have finished The Night and the Moth, and it's upstairs, so I'm not gonna grab it at the moment, but I did finish it earlier today. Absolutely loved it. Writing immaculate, vibes immaculate, the tension, the yearning, so, so good. That ending, very excited for the next one. But yeah, she's trying to figure out what happened to her fellow diviners. So she's going on this mission with this other knight and Gargoyle and some others, and she's learning more about the world, piecing things together about what she needs to do, and they're going around doing some of those things. Anyway, it was so much fun. So excited for the next one. And I did want to take a walk, but also go to a coffee shop. So there's a coffee shop near me, and there's kind of a path in the woods that I like to take to go to it. So I figured that would be the perfect place to start reading the Pumpkin Spice Cafe and drink a pumpkin spice latte and just soak in the fall vibes. And so in this one we're following Jeannie and Logan, and Jeannie just got to town. She's taking over her aunt's cafe, Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and so, you know, serving coffee to the local community, and so she's taking over and, you know, wanted a fresh start. And so Logan, she doesn't quite realize that Logan is the local farmer, just here to make his regular Thursday delivery. She thinks that he's some sort of intruder, so they get off to a very interesting start. But despite that interesting start, he is helping her integrate into town, meet some of the people in town, and just figure some things out, and also helps her figure out what that noise is that's happening in the middle of the night. And it's just cute, cozy vibes so far. I don't know. I'm having a good time, but yeah, I don't know. I'm enjoying it and just living my best small town life. I'm 100 pages in, and I would like to, I don't know, figure out what we're going to read next. So let's spin and see. Ooh. Immortal Dark. Okay. Vampire vibes next, so that's fun. All right. So we'll have a vampire moment. And yeah, I think it'll be fun to go from cozy fall romance vibes to dark vampire vibes. I love it. So, all right. So I will read some more of this. I don't think this one is going to take very long to read, but I think it'll just be perfect for just autumn starting to cool down, leaves starting to change colors, the pumpkin spice starting to flow, you know, just good vibes for that. So, but I will check in once I have finished. So I have finished Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore. This one was fun. There wasn't really a lot of depth there, but the vibes were there, which is really what I was in it for. So honestly, I got exactly what I wanted out of it. Again, don't go into this one for the depth of characters or anything. Just, I don't know. It was a good time. The vibes were there. So I kind of described her, our main character, taking over this cafe, meeting the farmer. They hit it off. She's trying to integrate herself into this town. And he is wary because he had a relationship not work out when the person he was dating, who was from Boston, from a bigger city, didn't ultimately want to move to a small town. And so he's worried that it's going to be the same thing, that she came in to kind of start over, but isn't really going to really be sold by the town, isn't going to want to be there for the long haul kind of thing. And so he's nervous about that and trying to figure out that and navigate that. There are also some things that are happening to the cafe to make it seem like someone's trying to sabotage things or trying to mess with the cafe and with her reopening the cafe, and she's trying to figure out what's going on there as well. So there are some other plot lines going on, so they're trying to figure out what's going on at the cafe, you know, preparing for the fall festival in this town, all of that kind of stuff. again, the vibes were there. Like the fall festival happening, just so many cozy things about this one. And the characters were cute, and I had fun with this one. And definitely would consider reading some other books in this series for the vibes, whatever time of year they're appropriate for, just when I'm looking for something cozy and small town. I have since started Immortal Dark, but I actually think I'm going to cut the vlog off here. We are going to be heading out of town this weekend. We're not going very far, but we are heading out of town this weekend to Shenandoah, and I don't know, I'd like to start a new vlog with that, and we're leaving tomorrow. There's definitely no way I'm going to finish this today, and so I actually just would like to start a new vlog. So sorry for separating me actually spinning the wheel for this one and my thoughts on actually finishing it. Those are going to be in two separate vlogs. But that's just how this is going to work out. Be sure to subscribe to see the next vlog and see what I actually think of Immortal Dark. I've read like 35 pages of it. The first bit of it I'm into. So I have high hopes, but be sure to subscribe to see what happens there. And at the beginning of the next vlog, I'll just describe the fact that I actually rolled or spun the wheel for Immortal Dark, and then I'll go ahead and spin for my next roll at the beginning of the next vlog. But I need to separate it out and cut this vlog off here and then start a new vlog with our adventure. So, as I said, subscribe to see my thoughts on Immortal Dark and our Shenandoah adventure. I'll be bringing my camera along, so if you want to see what we get up to and what I think of Immortal Dark and the rest of the fall books on my October TBR, then yeah, hit subscribe, and I'll leave my Instagram link down below, as well as more information about how you can support the Black Lives Matter movement, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.